Javed Saab, the Muslims for secular democracy. Now, this is what it says on your website for the MFSD. It is not possible to fight Hindu communalism without fighting against Muslim communalism, nor is it possible to fight Muslim communalism without fighting against Hindu communalism, because the different communalisms feed on each other. Please explain.
You know, hate breeds hate, and you cannot fight hate with hate. If you want to curb hate, you have to fight your own hate within yourself also. It's as simple as that.
But this is another question which was posed to you. Let's stick on the I know you've drawn a line between what is secular and what is non-secular, and you don't say that the opposite of religious is secular. You say that the opposite of religious is atheism. The opposite of secular is fascism.
Very.
Undemocratic behavior.
Yeah, very right.
Right? So that's what, at least that's what it's explained on your website.
Very right.
So this was a question which was posed to you, and the question was in the Times of India, what should ordinary Muslims do? And you responded, you said they are really in an unenviable position. All they can do is really hope to survive in places like Gujarat. Muslims must understand that though many have been butchered in Gujarat, this is not a Hindu-Muslim problem. They must understand that it is a clash of secularism and democracy versus fascism and intolerance. They have to improve their lot by lending strength to secular forces and by becoming more secular themselves. Now, this is quite a choice Indian Muslims today are facing, isn't it?
Yeah. Why? Or anybody, any secular person has the same choice, whether that secular person is a Muslim or a Hindu.
But many people would say that it is because they were facing such a choice that they opted for Pakistan. Many people confuse secularism.
No, you are putting the cart before the horse. They asked for Pakistan because they were communal.
Some people would say they asked for Pakistan because they wanted religious autonomy.
Religious autonomy? We have more religious autonomy than any Muslim country in the world, as a matter of fact. Name one Muslim country where all the sects of Muslims can practice their religion the way they want to do it. Can Qadianis do or Ahmadiyas do that in your country? Can Sunnis can do it in Iran? No, it's not possible. Okay. This is the only country in the world, I repeat, where Muslims have total religious freedom, including Pakistan. Then
how do you explain acts like Godhra?
That is not religious persecution. I mean, it's a communal. This is the problem. Let us not confuse religion with communalism. There are fascistic organizations like RSS or VHP or Bajrang Dal, and they are like Ku Klux Klan. And they have been very aggressive towards minorities, not only Muslims, but Christians too. But people who are fighting against them are not only Muslims. As a matter of fact, much more than Muslims. They are Hindus who are fighting with them.
You've also, and this is very interesting as well, you just mentioned the RSS. You've also put the RSS and the Muslim League on the same platform. You've said that both were collaborators. You've said both were collaborators of the British Empire.
Yes, I did. And I'll tell you what.
You want to expand on that?
Can you name one Muslim League? Because I know. RSS was formed in 1925 and India got independence in 1947. In 22 years, not one RSS leader was behind the bars for a day.
Is that a yardstick?
No, yes, because it means they never protested against British imperialism. On the other hand, no Muslim League leader was arrested for 5 hours. Never. Never. Not only that, I'll tell you.
A lot of Muslim leaguers would say that that's because they were more constitutional.
They were more constitutional against the imperialism.
They were constitutionalists.
Whose constitution? They were following British's constitution. Wonderful. Again, in 1942, when Gandhi gave call of quit India, there were only 2 organizations in the subcontinent who opposed that. One was RSS, another was Muslim League.
And isn't the
so
comeback
there's tremendous similarity between the two.
And the comeback was because Jinnah Sahab was perhaps uncomfortable with the use of religious symbolism used by Gandhiji.
So he made a religious country. How wonderful.
A religious country or a theocracy? That's 2 different things.
Well, it's a theocracy. You call it an Islamic country, don't you?
It's supposed to be Islamic Republic?
Fine. So you are against Gandhi's secular religious practices, and to oppose that, you made a country which is theocratic.
All right. Well, speaking of theocracy, you've also said that Pakistan is a laboratory for Hindutva.
Very right.
How so?
Because what do they want to do? RSS people, they are the mirror image of Muslim League. Muslim League wanted a country for Muslims. They want a country for Hindus. And they want everybody else to be the second-grade citizen in this country, RSS. It is the mirror image of Pakistan. That is what they want to do, what has been achieved. If it is an achievement in Pakistan.
It's a rather simplistic view.
No, not at all. Not at all. You have a theocratic country. They also want to make a theocratic country. Ultimately, their goal, Godhra, is to
RSS
them.
has also called for wiping out minorities, sir.
You don't
Pakistan
have
has never
left.
called for that. No Muslim League or no one in Pakistan has ever called for that.
As a matter of fact, you have to have a minority to say that. Do you know that? Although whoever is left is also treated like that. We know about it. There's a place called Shantinagar near Lahore. You must find out a few years back what had happened there. I mean, how any Christian who owns good land can be told that he has said blasphemous things and can be hanged or put him behind the jail. It's a common thing. As far as the Hindus are concerned there, how many Hindus you have? At the time of partition, you had 10% Hindus. Now they are not even 1%. So to be unjust with minorities, you have to have some minorities left.
But how can you coming back to communalism, how can you say that a problem which many say, and this is not just many in Pakistan, many across the world, say which is rampant in India, that there is some sort of Hindu right wing?
Of course.
That there is some sort of Hindu right wing. How can you hide behind the label of fascism and just call it a religious communalism and not what it is, a war of religions?
No, it's not a war of religions at all. They are, Savarkar, who coined this word Hindutva, he was a self-proclaimed atheist. Jinnah, you know better how religious he was. So let us not confuse religion with communalism.
Okay, well this is on calling Pakistan a lab experiment for the Hindutva. You said, and this is a little statistical analysis from you, that you go on and say that this is your, I guess you could call it statistical analysis of Pakistan. The Parivar's ultimate fantasy is a Hindu Pakistan. You're talking about the larger Hindu Parivar. In Pakistan, around 11, whose population is around 15 crore, nearly 75%, that is around 11 crore, are directly or indirectly engaged in agriculture. Some 200 families own most of the agricultural land. Even assuming each of these extended families comprise of 1,000 members, some 200,000 people control all the agricultural property. What is the status of the remaining 10 crore and 98 lakh people dependent on agriculture for their livelihood? The fact is that they are landless and even bonded laborers living in abysmal conditions. These people are at the total mercy of these landlords, and in many places there are no schools. The police dare not enter these areas. Any political economist would completely disagree with these statistics, sir. You've got a point, but you might be generalizing a little too much, Javed Sahab.
Really? Really?
These numbers don't have veracity.
Are you suggesting that Vaderas allow schools and hospitals in the areas whenever and whichever NGO wants to do that?
It's happening.
It's not happening.
It's happening.
And as a matter of fact, these are your own channels that have informed me. It has not come from some other source.
It's not rampant, sir, and it's not like it used to be.
The fact, so things are improving.
Which is not a bad thing now, is it? But then to
As a
go
matter-
around and
as
go
a
around
matter of fact,
generalizing.
there has not been.
You've put a stamp of
very simple. It's very simple.
But you've put a stamp of disapproval on Pakistan.
No. I'm just repeating the words that I have read from Pakistani journalists, and I'm repeating the words that I have heard from different Pakistani channels. These are my source of information. The fact is that after partition, when you had Pakistan, there was never any land reform like in India. You did not abolish Jagirdari, you did not abolish Zamindari. The fact is, that talking of democracy in a society where there is Jagirdari and Zamindari is a strange contradiction, which at least I can't understand.